You guys give me if I kill that bird.
Barbara, that's a bald eagle.
Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
Oh, well, good evening, and good evening. This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve. GubsRadio.com. We are here at the biggest and the baddest comedy store in all of Long Island, right in the heart of Nassau County, Levittown. It's Governor's Comedy Club. What's going on? Good evening, everybody. We are live on the Facebook. We are live on the YouTubes.
What?
Yes, on the Governor's Comedy Club podcast channel. Go ahead and jump over to one of those, and you can watch us live every other Monday night, starting at 8 o'clock. We have tons of guests lined up for this upcoming spring and summer season. Lots of traveling, lots of live shows, lots of cool stuff. And, by the way, you guys can give us a phone call. It's 516-465-3990, 516-465-3990. Call in. Win a chance to have some prize packs and some all sorts of different stuff. Give us a call. And we are here with our guest who's remoting in tonight. However, before we talk to him, we need to cover our bases.
You didn't even say the guest.
I didn't say yes. We're going to leave a cliffhanger. Let people sit through the ads. See?
Look at you.
See, look at me now, starting to learn the radio after 7 years. We're going to start off with Rosie's Draft Solutions. Stephen, take it away.
Yeah, Rosie's Draft Solutions is a Long Island family-owned business that provides professional draft beer system services, line cleanings and maintenance, draft beer line system installs, event dispensing solutions, and more.
Yeah, more.
They are very passionate about craft beer and making sure it has the same quality as when it left the brewery, and that is only done by making sure the draft system the beer is being poured on is perfectly clean.
So clean.
All the cleanness. Rosie's services bars, restaurants, halls, events, and all other beverage establishments, including home kegerator installs across Long Island and Westchester. You can reach them at rosiesdraftsolutions@gmail.com or call them at 631-219-2075, Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mention the Wort. You'll get a discount, and I think they're going to slap you across your pie hole.
Oh, I like it. You ever see those videos online where, like, the shot girl comes over, you take a shot, and then she sprays you and slaps the shit out of you? Yeah.
I like that.
That is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Every once in a while. You just need a good slap just to wake you up a little bit.
Just to.
What do you think that shot is, though? You think it's like Sambuca?
Oh, it's probably something really disgusting.
Like awful. So you just forget about the taste and worry about the
slap. You get slapped in
your
your mouth. You're like, well, okay, that didn't taste that bad.
That wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
So go to Rosie's Draft Solutions and tell Nick that the Wort sent you. Receive a special discount on your order today. We're also sponsored by Brewbag. Brewbag's getting warm out there, folks. Go to brewbag.com to get your beer pong cornhole set. They are now offering, not free, but they are offering custom vinyl wraps, which means you could put your company logo, your own personal logo, your brewery logo.
You can put your dog on it. You can
whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Because then you're going to play beer pong cornhole, and that is correct, sir. You're going to play beer pong, but you're going to be using cornhole boards. So go to brewbag.com or go to our Instagram, and in the link tree, in our bio, rather, there's a link tree that you can go over to our special page where you can get your discount on your Brewbag
All American made.
Yes, all American made. Made up in Buffalo, actually. Yes. Talking about upstate today. I don't know if... we'll talk to him. Does he consider himself upstate? That's a tough one. Do people where he is consider themselves upstate? Because there technically isn't. Although if you're going by like latitude lines,
or if you're going by Long Islanders, you go over to George Washington Bridge. That's upstate.
That's the minute you go over.
You go over to Verrazano.
I
that's
always say
upstate.
Tappan Zee to me. Tappan Zee, that's upstate. You know, Westchester, I don't know.
That's upstate.
All right. Well, we'll have that discussion a little bit. We're also sponsored tonight by our friends over at Beer Maker. Go to BEERMKR and get your all-in-one countertop brewing system made with all natural ingredients. It's automated. There's an iPhone, an iOS, or Android app where you get to mark the progress and check all of your check boxes, I guess, right? Along the way,
Yes.
you can add, or you can make your own recipe.
Sure can.
You can buy their beer maker
grain?
kits, all grain. Well, I said all natural ingredients, right? I mean, I guess that could be syrup.
Yeah, it could be.
No. We're talking about an all grain system, folks. So go to BEERMKR.com, type in promo code the Wort, or go over to our link tree. Go over to our bio. And in our bio, there's a link tree where you can go to our special page for Beer Makers discount page. Go to BEERMKR.com. And finally, we are sponsored tonight by Brewers Hardware.
Brewers Hardware.
Brewers Hardware for all your large batch or small capacity needs, or large capacity, small batch needs. Go to brewershardware.com and get all the tri-clamps that you may or may not need for your brewing pleasure. Brewers Hardware is a premier sponsor of this radio/podcast program. Really appreciate their support over the last 6 years and their ability to give back to our guests that we have on the show each and every week. And speaking of our guests, well, guess who we have in studio? We're going to have to talk to him. His Rhodes, he is the co-founder of Beer Tree Brew, or Beer Tree Brew Co. Is that how we say it? Beer Tree Brew Co.?
You got it.
I got it. All right, good. I you know what? I'm trying to imagine the label, but I always don't want to say Beer Tree Brewery when it's Beer Co.
I didn't
Beer Tree
wanna-
Brew Co. Brew Co.
I didn't
And that's the
wanna
other
look
thing.
for
There's so many other ones that are like Beer Co. And I'm like, is it beer or is it brew? God damn
Brewing
it.
Company.
Yeah.
Brewery.
What's up, Chris?
don't
Thanks a
make it
lot for
easy.
joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks.
So Chris, let's get right down and settle this right now before the phone calls come flooding in. Do you consider, not us downstate, but do you consider places like Syracuse or Buffalo or I don't know, all the way up? Do you consider that upstate, and do you consider yourself upstate?
I am upstate. I don't know. I think Buffalo's like that's Western New York.
Western New York, okay.
Yeah, I think anything above like Lower Hudson Valley is upstate.
Okay.
Nah,
All right.
in my eyes.
Well, it's tough to imagine it.
My tires go off the the edge of the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Okay.
That's upstate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As soon as you cross over that Tappan Zee, to me, that's upstate.
Well-
But then you go, as soon as you go over that Tappan Zee, you got to go straight west, and
Yes.
you are in Binghamton. So I don't even go that way. I go across the George Washington, like you said, head through Jersey into Pennsylvania, and then up the gut, right into Binghamton. We were talking a little bit before the show, but I want to hear from you, Chris. Chris, describe Binghamton for all the people who are from Long Island or even from the lower area of the state.
Absolutely. All right. So Binghamton is location-wise, we're an hour south of Syracuse, an hour north of Wilkes-Barre.
Right.
We're 2 hours north of Philly. We're 2 hours away from Rochester. We're 2 hours away from Albany. We're 3 hours away from Buffalo. We're kind of like that access point in the middle of New York State that you can get to pretty much any like major spot.
Yeah.
New York City's 2.5 hours, 3 hours away. So it's a quaint city in upstate New York.
I like
Where,
quaint. Quaint is nice.
Quaint.
Yes.
Quaint
Except
city.
for when, schools, in and all the savages are out and about.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice college town.
It is
for
a college
sure.
town.
It
It is
is.
a good college town, yes.
And again, like you were saying before, Chris, to have like that centralized area, I'm sure you draw a lot from all parts of the state, even from Jersey and Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we see a lot of people coming in from an hour to 2 hours away mostly on the weekends.
It's the ultimate
Sometimes
location.
further.
Ultimate location for a college town.
The last time I was in Binghamton,
Yeah.
I went to, and I don't even know it's there anymore, the Rathskeller.
Yes, it's still there.
Man, I don't even remember leaving that place.
You know, a lot of colleges have a rat. A lot of, like Hofstra has a rat.
Yeah.
If you go in the basement of the the
Stony Brook has one.
the basement of the eating place, the cafeteria. I don't want to say it's not a cafeteria really. It's like like a luncheonette or something. They have a rat, and they have, and get this, they have live gaming down there. They have a full virtual reality like Grand Prix game.
No, cool.
They've totally been modernized from what it probably was, which was what, ping pong, pool, and maybe had Miss Pac-Man sitting on the wall or something like that. What's the rat like? What is it? A bar, restaurant? Yeah,
bar.
just the rat.
And,
or the rat's color, yeah.
And they have DJ or whatever, or band.
So
somebody.
It's kind of like any other bar restaurant that kind of does late night stuff.
Yeah. Man.
Ever spent some time
and that
there,
was
Chris?
a long time ago. I
Long
still
time
remember
ago.
that.
Yeah, okay. And that's still open, you said, or it's closed?
Yeah, I think they're still kicking.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all a long time.
That's cool, dude.
It's a happening place for the college kids.
Well, and so that brings me to a point that I want to make here. Are you guys finding that there's like some sort of season because of where you're located and everything? You kind of have all the. I don't want to say it's a summer destination. It's not like out east on Long Island or somewhere close to the shore, but at the same time in the winter it could get brutal over there. So what's your overall seasons look like at Beer Tree?
So we have our first spot that we opened up. It's called the Farm.
Yes.
That's on 15 acres of farmland, and that in the summertime that's a happening spot.
Yeah.
That's we've got a ton of outdoor space, obviously being on that much property. We back right up to the river. So there's a ton of kayakers that come down and they'll pop out, have a couple beers, grab some lunch, and then continue on down the river. But yeah, I mean, seasonality wise, it's like, I think anywhere in New York, right? It's like you get some nice weather, you get some sunshine, and everyone is buzzing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Same as like our downtown spot, we have a rooftop bar. So that's kind of like as soon as the sun comes out and it's a nice day, we love opening up that rooftop.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
it's anywhere in New York, it seems. You get a nice day and you have availability to be outside and drink, people are doing it.
Yeah, day drinking weather.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Skipping work.
It's different work. So let's get into that because you said the farm was the first one. See, now I thought the factory was, though. The first time I went to the factory, I noticed that it was within a spot that was under heavy construction and kind of still is at this point. So let's talk to me a little bit about what kind of was the transformation. What was the original spot? Obviously, was the farm. When did that start? Give us some breakdown of all that.
Yeah, so the Farm, which you mentioned earlier, Beer Tree Brew, and you mentioned Beer Tree Brew Co. So we started off as Beer Tree Brew Co. And that was in Port Crane, which then got changed to Farm by Beer Tree Brew.
Right.
We kind of, we just changed our name up a couple times. So that was 2017. We opened that up October-ish.
And that's
so
not far from the factory, right? That's like 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes.
Cool.
Yep. So that was again, on a 15-acre piece of property. We built a timber frame structure for our tap room, and then we kind of tacked on like a stick built for the brewery. Had a 10-barrel Alpha brewing operation system in there. Started off with
so many
20-barrel fermenter, 10-barrel fermenters, and then some brights.
It's like everyone we talk to, right? It's Alpha.
I want to say the last 5 breweries we've had on all have Alpha equipment.
You want to call it for the next one? Just like we don't even want to know what you're brewing on.
I'm going to say it's
an Alpha.
Just assume.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, when we got started off, though, because like you got to look at pricing, right? Like that's
of course.
As a startup, like that's the most important part is like, can I get a decent system and not like have to give up my first 3 children to pay for it, So yeah, and it worked. I mean, we brewed the crap out of that thing. So we quickly, over at that location, we had like the brewery originally with those tanks that I mentioned, and we had like our racks in there with grain storage, and then we had to get shipping containers, and we snuck them around out back, and then we built out the rest of that it was all tanks. So by like the middle of 2018, end of 2018, that the whole like brewery area was all tanks, and you walk out back and it looked like I call it a glorified trailer park, but it wasn't very glorious. It was like
everything was metal, just laying back there.
3 different shipping containers. One of them was insulated, like an insulated refrigeration unit, but the unit was busted, and we got a quote. It was like 10 grand to fix it or something. So we just took and cut CoolBot slots for like AC units. And
Yeah,
there you go.
We ran it off CoolBots, and it's still to this day.
Is that little like trick out of
Bro,
the air conditioner?
Yeah, that's what I had
Yeah,
for several.
it's like you hot wire it.
You
Yeah.
hot wire the air conditioner.
It fools the air conditioner into thinking, oh, it's not that temperature. We're just gonna keep cooling this shit down.
Yep, yeah.
Does that
They
run?
work really good?
Does
Oh,
it run
yeah.
air conditioners down? Like, does that hurt? Can you do that at home and really get your house like cooler than you really
Oh
want
my!
it?
Well, I don't think you want your room down to fucking 34 degrees.
Start freezing pipes.
Shit. I mean, I used to.
Yeah,
I had
they
two.
get cold.
Yeah, I had two of them running 24/7
Really?
for 7 years.
The same two.
Same two.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they didn't frost up or nothing?
Once in a blue moon, because there is a little probe, and what it does, it also fools, it fools the AC unit into thinking there is not a lot of, because AC units, what they do is, it pulls liquid out of the room,
Right.
and helps chill it.
Right.
It fools it to think that, oh no,
There's
it's
still
fine,
stuff going on.
because once, and it's happened many times that lube probe popped out, and
Yeah.
I walk in and it's just a fucking solid sheet of ice on the AC unit. It's like, okay, that's gonna be fun.
Well, that so you get like the what are those crab fishermen up in Alaska just knocking ice off the bow of the boat with big hammers.
I would take freaking heat guns.
Oh, hey. Get a propane torch.
Try to defrost it as quick as I could.
Can you imagine? Jeez Louise. So wait, before you go any further on how that layout was, how did you even start this? I mean, where'd you guys come from? Were you guys homebrewing? Where was the initial idea? Who else was involved when you guys opened up the farm?
Yeah, so it started a couple years prior. In 2013, we started to plant hops. We have a family farm up about 20 minutes away from where this is where it gets confusing. So we have a farm 20 minutes away from the farm.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
And you still have
It's called-
the farm.
Yeah. So we like cows and hops and grain farm.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So we started growing hops I think it was 2013. We planted the first field. And by like 2014, we had a pretty good yield that first year. Obviously not like anything significant, but we still had some hops. So we were going around the brew fests, myself, my dad, my brother-in-law, and we were just kind of trying to sell hops, trying to like peddle the hops, which now being on the other side, I realize how annoying that can be at brew fest when like people are just trying to like sell you shit. And it's like, oh my goodness.
Nope.
So that's how we got into the industry and started to like meet people, and that's where I fell in love with the whole brewing industry. I didn't know too much about it prior to that, and just like the camaraderie, if your buddy runs out of yeast at the brewery down the street, like, or if you run out of something, hops or whatever, you can call up a friend and they'll have it to your doorstep. You can go pick it up, and that was awesome. So in the meantime, we were home brewing like crazy every weekend, making heavily IPA based, but we were screwing around with some kettle sours. We made one. It was called Cherry Shocker. It was a cherry sour that we made with. We went to Wegmans and grabbed Greek yogurt and used that to culture up the bacteria for it. The house was at my brother-in-law and sister's house, and it
covered.
It was stinky.
Oh man,
real stinky.
Did it explode at all?
They sold the house right after that.
We're out.
Yeah, it burned it down, took the insurance money.
That's smart. There you go.
Yeah, so that was, just a ton of home brewing. And then, the idea, like, with the hop farm and with seeing these other breweries and joining corporate America after college, it's like, this kind of sucks. Like, I don't see myself really being in this corporate America lifestyle for too long. Like, I love the brewing industry. I love the people. I love the culture. We started kind of working around, got our quotes from Alpha, saw kind of what our investment would start to look like. And it got to that teetering point where it's like, I think this was probably 2016, maybe summertime, like kind of campfire conversation, a couple beers deep, just like, we got to either go for it or this probably is never going to happen. It was kind of like that, like
piss or get off the pot.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So Well, we pissed. We pissed all over.
We pissed all over it.
Yeah. So we found this property in Port Crane. So we looked at a couple different spots, and it was like the middle of decrepit strip malls, like this bar that was open 25 years ago. You walk in and like the ceiling's all like falling down. It's like that, that might work. We could probably do something there. But we came across the property that the farm's now at. It wasn't for sale. We knew the owners of it. My dad was friends with them, just kind of shot him a message, and they were like, yeah, we'll sell it. It's like,
wow.
Okay, that's kind of super awesome.
that really worked out.
Yeah. So my brother-in-law and I, we took, we went down there for a couple hours and just watched the traffic, did like a little kind of backyard traffic study. And there's just a ton of cars going back and forth. So we're like, all right, I think this is the spot. Let's take that business plan we've been working on. Let's put it into action. So that's winter. It was December 2016. Now I'm at my house right now. My neighbor was the guy who poured the foundation for the original beer tree. And I remember it was like maybe 17 degrees with like 30-mile winds coming across that. And it's these two guys, they're freaking awesome, but they retired and kind of like keep popping in and out of retirement. But yeah, that was when it started. And then by the summer we were brewing, I'd say probably September. I think we were turning our first beers out, and then opened in October.
Do you remember what some of those first beers were? And
yeah,
do they exist today?
Was Tree Light.
Tree Light.
It's cream ale, just a real simple grain bill, just barley and corn.
Yeah.
Yep. And Cascade hops.
So that was going to be my question here, because you have the farm. How much of those first few beers were you just using ingredients from your own farm?
Pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
We were using, I mean, obviously, right? It's like New York State, you can't get some of those big boy hops, but we were using, my favorite was Michigan Copper. It kind of gives off like this Hawaiian punch flavor. It's awesome. And we still use it today. We use it a lot more back then. We had some issues at the farm with mildew these past 3 out of the 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of got
a little hurt
wrecked
there
on that, but it's all right. But yeah, I mean, so those first couple beers, it was Cascade, Chinook, Michigan Copper, a little bit of Crystal.
Using like noble, old school hops just to get the beer going.
Yep. And then we made this IPA called, it ended up being called Mad Burner, because with our brew system, it was direct fire. And it's like, I guess it like the first time adding like a significant hop addition to the boil, which at the time was the Whirlpool, but the tank was insulated so well that we shut the boil off, and it like was 207 degrees or 206 degrees for like 40 minutes.
Oh man.
So we tossed in this pretty significant hop charge, and we couldn't transfer it out fast enough, and it's just like super bitterness came through. So then we called it the Mad Burner, because the burner, we just didn't know how to run it, how to use it.
Now, how many of some of those original ones still exist today at the brewery, or are you still revamping them? What are you guys doing with some of those classic recipes?
The names are still in rotation. The recipes have changed as we've learned.
Yeah.
A little bit. So like our first like hazy IPA can release was Tropical Trees. That one's still in rotation. I think it's changed. We changed the name to Gen 2. Once we switched from brewing primarily at the Port Crane location to the factory location.
Is that like a pot reference?
What, the Port Crane?
No, Tropical Trees?
It might be. Is it? Yeah, maybe. Well, whoever names the stuff, well, I mean, obviously you guys are, just kind of just goes with it, whatever sense they get, right? I mean, what goes into some of these, because you have, let's be honest, you have a shit ton of labels, dude. You have so many labels. Every time I'm in there, I see like one or two cores, and then the whole board is, out of like the 18 taps, everything else is brand new. I'm like, where do I even begin? And you guys are pumping this stuff out in can too. I turn over, there's the cooler, and I go through and I'm just I have to try, almost like you have to try everything before you know what you're going to take to go. Because I usually take at least a case to go to bring back home because, I only make the journey maybe twice, maybe 3 times a year. And, for the most part, you guys come out with new stuff all the time. Where is all that inspiration coming from?
Oh, dude, the names, I don't know. It depends on the day. It's like, we'll all brainstorm. That's definitely not like a one person thing. It's, we never really like sit down like, all right, let's come up with a name, but it'll just be like something stupid will happen during the day or like Brain Stew, for example, right? It's like Green Day comes on. It's like, we used to listen to that. Welcome to Jamrock was one of our, like our favorite.
I've had that one. Welcome to Jamrock.
Yeah. So that started off because when we were homebrewing, like Brendan, like his mashing song was Welcome to Jamrock. It was like every time we'd start the mash and it was like, it was always playing. So.
Time to get it going.
Absolutely. And then like we did a similar label artwork to Welcome to Jamrock, like Cultivate Canopy, kind of like the outdoorsy rainforest kind of vibes. We get a lot of names from like nature stuff, like carving mountains, shredding mountains, both mountain bike and snowboarding references. Fresh Wax was a snowboard reference.
There you go.
With this like fresh wax, like a sweet like waxed mustache, and the bottom of the board was freshly waxed. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's.
Do you know of anyone
kind
that
of kicking around
labeled their beer sex wax and kind of had that sex wax smell?
No,
I used to love that smell.
Is that like a pina colada kind of smell?
It is. It kind of has like that pineapple-y, a little bit of tropical notes in it. Like somebody had to rip that off, especially California. Check
all
the California breweries. Yeah. Damn, I gotta look that up now. Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, I got Untapped on speed dial over here. It's a requirement.
Well, while you're there, tell us a little about your Untapped thoughts. Like, do you enjoy it? Do you like it? Some people, obviously, that get great reviews are
Don't
like,
get me crazy.
This is the best thing ever. But other people are like,
fucking,
you can't go off of one person's opinion because everyone's palates are different. Chris, what's your thoughts on like this global socialization of beer? I guess opinions.
Yeah. See, can you see the gray in the side of my face?
There, yeah.
Yeah. How about like my favorite is I hate sours. 1 star. And it's a check-in for a freaking sour. It's like, well, what the hell are you doing?
We've had someone that said that, right? It wasn't you, was it, Steven? Someone said exactly that. Like, then why the hell would you order a sour if sours aren't your thing?
That dude that came into my brewery.
Wait.
I hate Untapped.
Yeah, the only thing I could say about this is this. You've never had a sour. You have the sour. You don't like it. You then make the opinion, sours aren't my thing. Okay. Then don't write it up.
Well, yeah, don't put a bottle cap, amount.
Right.
Just check it in.
Right.
You don't have to score it.
Right.
That was that dude that came in.
Yeah.
Had yada yada yada.
Yep.
I hate peanut butter.
I mean, it literally says
fucking
on the board.
Quarter star. And then comes back like 2 weeks later.
Let me get another one.
And does the same fucking thing.
Oh, why would you do
I almost killed him.
Brutal.
Did you write on the board this time no peanut butter?
No, I had to approach him because
you knew who it was. There were pictures on it.
There were other guys in the tasting room.
Yeah.
Regulars, and they were like,
and you knew.
Who is this fucking guy?
Yeah, he's the only other guy.
And
who checks it in right at that moment.
Yeah.
God.
But you know what? Untapped did something that it literally changed the way people drink.
Recently?
No, just
when
they came about.
Yeah.
Before them was Rate Beer and Beer Advocate.
I remember that. Yeah,
and Beer Advocate.
Beer Advocate was okay.
But it would be guys, that were whatever you want to call them. Okay. Beer geeks, beer nerds.
Sure.
And they would go do elaborate, tastings and stuff, and give it, a rating.
Yeah, which was a fair rating for the most part because they knew what they were getting into.
What happened when Untapped did it by giving an amount of, if I do 15 IPAs, I get a little badge.
Yeah, the badge thing.
Or
Think
the
so?
amount that you've been checking in.
The badges.
That's what changed it. And loyalty, brand loyalty stopped.
Yes. I agree with that.
Because,
I agree with that.
You know, like you,
Yeah.
I'm going to use you as an example.
Shit. What?
Mr. Dogfish Head 60 Minute.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You drink that beer often.
All the time. I've stayed with it since it came out.
Many
least since I've drank
people
it.
that used to be that guy that would drink it all the time,
Mm-hmm.
once they got that Untapped, and they were all over it. Oh, look, all these badges and how many that went out the door, and now they had to start trying everything and anything they could get their hands on.
Well, I mean, my consideration for Chris is, I mean, because he has so many labels, because there's so much diversity
You have to.
Yeah, I know, but isn't that opening yourself up? And no offense, Chris, but aren't you opening yourself up to more criticism because you're trying new things? But you know, in your heart, you're doing this for a sense of what you know the business is going to work with. You got to try things. You have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like I'd say it's a love-hate relationship, right? Because there's there's schlecks on there who are doing these stupid reviews, and it's like it makes no sense. But then there is also like some quality feedback.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
Like I've read through almost every review of each of the beers, and it has helped us improve. Whether that's just writing descriptions, like, all right, well, we wrote a description that said this was going to be citrus and passion fruit, and it tastes like someone's chewing on a piece of spruce. Like, we got to be able to bridge that gap.
Right,
So
match the description to what you're saying. Right, I agree with that.
Yeah, and it drives business so much. Like, anytime we're looking to get into a new market, it's like that's kind of the baseline for anyone to gauge our brewery. It's like, all right, let's check their Untapped score, see how many ratings they have, see what their overall is, see what some of their top beers are. It's like if you don't hit a certain level, who knows? You may just get brushed off, even though you might have delicious beers.
Is it changing the way you're deciding on the next beer? Is it really impacting the way you go about your craft?
Certain parts do, yeah. It's like if we want to release a beer and get above a 4.2, then we need to make it a triple, a pretty good double, or just throw a bunch of fruit into a sour. It's like if we don't want to go above a 4.2, then we can brew anything else. If we want to be below a 4, then we do not an IPA. We'll just do a pale ale or any other style, and it'll be below that. So it's
crap, because I like, so far, just so you know, we've drank the Pilsner. We had this Fooder, which I'm enjoying a lot. we're gonna get into a little bit about each beer a little later in the show. But this
12 month
Fooder, huh? Jesus Christ.
Mama llama.
But I can taste all of that wood.
Oh yeah.
It's delicious. So like I said, you're reaching out. You're not just doing the Pilsner, or like you were saying before, you had your cream ale, but you're going in these, adventurous directions with the Fooder, whatever you want to call it, and being able to kind of extract new flavors, new stuff. Do you get good feedback from that? I mean, is that something, not with this particular beer, but in general, do you get good feedback from some of the kind of outreaches that you do with some of your styles and recipes?
Yeah, I think there's some good feedback there. There's also some people who will try something, be like, oh, this isn't for me. Like, I don't know what style this is, but it's not something that I would normally drink.
What's the thing that you got the worst rating on? What's the one that just stands out to you?
Oh, dude, Fruta con Tajín. It's such a good beer. It is. So we brought it to Extreme Beer Fest.
Okay.
And it was when we were crushing it. We were making it great. It's a sour beer. It's mango, cucumber, and tahini spice.
Whoa.
So we used a little bit of tahini, but then we used habanero. So it's got like that mango and that kick to it.
Yeah.
But so we switched bacteria that we were using to kettle sour.
Okay.
And it was starting off its souring process at too high of a pH, which was creating these spores that gave you the flavors and aromatics of like tomato, throw up, kind of like a
Throw up.
Yep.
Tomato.
Yeah,
I was with you with tomato.
Oh, I've been there.
And then you say throw up. I'm like,
I've
oh
been
no.
Oh yeah, just like the funkiest of the funk.
Yep.
Which,
Oh, no.
like for a
Isn't
kettle
that-
sour, it's like you're getting a really clean sour. So when it starts to smell like tomatoes and throw up, it's
Yep.
like, oh shit,
Nothing
something's wrong here.
worse when you driving up to your brewery.
Yeah.
And you could actually smell it wafting through the air.
Oh no.
And it smells like, the sewage plant down the block
Oh
is
no.
you're in trouble for that day.
So when you guys pulled that off and you guys kind of did a little couple taste tests and whatnot, did you still get that, or was it just kind of the aromatics?
Well, it wasn't too dramatic. Like it was definitely there.
Yeah.
And then once we mixed it up with the mangoes, like you could kind of tell, kind of not, but once it was like in kegs and being poured on draft, it just seemed like kind of like tomato juice mixed with mango, And so, I mean, it was a terrible lesson. It was like, we probably had
a terrible lesson.
terrible lesson. But I mean, now it's like, I've done so much research on how to avoid that specific.
Avoid that at all costs.
Those spores that, I don't know. Was it worth it? No, but did I learn something from it? Yeah. And that's
it. As long as you learn something from it, you don't repeat that mistake, you're good.
I got a question for you. So you were at Extreme Beer Fest. Did you ever have you ever seen a brewery down in Virginia called Ouzelfinch?
Ouzelfinch.
Ouzelfinch. I want you to look that up.
I haven't heard too much about
OOZEL, right? Or OOZLE. So we had them on the show 2 years back or so. I think we had them in COVID, right? But they were obviously zooming in and whatnot like you are tonight. They focus on these crazy sour, kettle sour flavors. And you mentioned habanero mango. And that was one of the beers my wife and I had when we went down there. So we went down to, I guess, Virginia for a night or two to hang out. And we stumbled upon Ouzelfinch on an army base in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. We passed by it. I go, what is that? She's like, I think it's a brewery. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And so we were 3 or 4 years into the show. So I'm like, yes, we're going there. We go there. They had a mango habanero sour, and it knocked our socks off. So they had these little pepper flakes in the beer that added such depth and kind of like uniqueness to that beer. When you mentioned what you're doing and some of the sours that you had sent us, I think you might want to reach out because they do a festival at Ouzelfinch each and every year that I think you do great at with some of your sours and your I guess variations of what you've been doing.
Yeah, the flavor profiles.
Oh my God, the stuff like the one that he sent us is a pineapple mango.
Nope, I thought he froze up.
No, pineapple mango or something like that. It was, dude. They're over there, but it's unbelievable some of the stuff that you guys are putting out. And again, I don't necessarily go to the sours right away. Although if I saw that on the menu, I'd be like, well, I'm
gonna have to go for
have
that.
to taste that thing for sure. At least a taste, just to find out what I'm getting. How have you developed the sour program over these years? I know you said you started with that at the farm, but you guys have really upped your game over the last few years.
Thank you. No, appreciate it. It's I think with that, it was kind of like we started making them, figured out that whole like the off spores, the spore development that
no more throw up.
Yeah, and then got it pretty well dialed in after that. And then once we moved to the factory, we set up I have it named the Sour House. So it's like it's a bright tank that I hooked it up to steam and just threw a temp controller on it. So I can, like, instead of keeping the kettle sour in the kettle, we just we'll brew it and we'll send it over to that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
and so it's self-contained. We pitch our bacteria blend. Once it hits the pH drop, then we can just turn on that whole bright tank and kill off any of the bacteria, and then transfer it over. And the 3 different series use our IPA yeast, which I think helps tremendously with kind of creating like you've got the sour base already, then we ferment it with that yeast, and it picks up those really fruity tropical esters. And then sometimes we'll dry hop it after that, depending on on the type, we'll throw like a Citra, or we'll throw that Michigan Copper that gives you the Hawaiian Punch. Then we'll start adding in our fruits and kind of blending it up. There's a ton of experimenting at odd times of the day. The 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Normally that's with stouts though. The stouts for some reason always happen. Like when we're doing adjunct stouts, like we have to start trying different variants of it at like 8 or 9, and it's just like by 11 o'clock you're half in the bag and the day's not even halfway over.
Drinking those 8%ers.
Experimenting. It's having an awesome team that is able to throw a bunch of stuff together and then try it, and if it tastes like crap, then throw a whole bunch of other stuff.
There you go.
Repetitively do that until you hit something that.
Chris, really quick, I just want to shout out some people on Instagram. We are Instagram living right now. Stout Ridge was hanging out. Robbie, Dank Beer Reviews. We got Beer Friend, Graham, Brew Gun, Fletch, Robert C. Joey Heatmeister Brews is checking in. Jay Clancy's hanging out. I think both Joe and Jay are hanging out still in the chat here. Really quick, because you sound like you're still involved a lot on the day-to-day. How much of the brewing are you kind of overseeing each and every week, and how much of that now relies on the team as you go through with the multiple locations and obviously churning out a crap ton of beer over the last few years?
So I do all of like the recipe development, brewing production, sales and distribution, kind of like that whole side of the business. So I'm still very much involved day to day, a lot less on the floor itself, which that's like where it was the most fun. And now there's a lot more.
That is the fun spot, right?
It is.
Just a whole lot of fucking around.
Being on the deck and that's where it's at when you have to sit down and do paperwork.
Until your back hurts from the grain bags.
It's still though.
It was making sure you got your colas in and your TTB formula.
Bro, that is the worst.
Especially when you have a bunch. That's where the bunch of variants and SKUs really starts to suck. Is when you have to submit it all to like 10 different states and they all run different systems and But very much so involved in the day to day. But the brew team, we've got an awesome brew team. Our head brewer and brewery supervisor and our 2 other guys and our 1 other girl. I mean, they crush it day in and day out. They're churning and burning out, whether it's brewing or packaging or just cleaning tanks, cleaning the brewery, keeping everything tidy. We got an awesome group.
Now, are you guys only brewing at the factory location at this point?
So right now we're doing anything that goes into 16-ounce cans at the factory, and we're working on doing 12-ounce sleeks over at the farm. So that's going to be more of like seltzers and stuff that we're going to keep local and in-house. And we got a couple other our product roadmap for this year got a little bit funky. So we've got some interesting things to try and work on over the next couple of months.
I want to see
that we're going to be doing over at Port Crane.
I want to see breweries doing sour sleeks, 12-ounce sleeks.
Can they do that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I just think it would be something
different.
Yeah, and people would pick up on it like, oh, this brewery, when they do a sleek can, it's always sour. And so you could always find it on the shelf somewhere.
So you're talking like a White Claw looking kind of can and label.
Think about when 6 Point, when they first were doing their shit, they were using sleek 12-ounce cans.
Now, they've also made a ton of products that fit that, like koozies and drink holders and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be out of the normal to be doing something like people have the normal glassware and whatnot.
Not only that, you could fit more into your cooler.
Oh, dude, I could fit so many of those in my cooler.
Think about.
I don't drink a lot of them.
Think about a bunch of crushable sours, low ABV.
That's a great idea.
And
that's a great
You're drinking the hell out of them during the summer.
And you would do, like 12 packs of those, Chris? What would be the marketable amount or kind of, target for that? We do 6s in a
depends
box?
on what, I mean, if you're putting
it depends on what you're putting in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lower ABV,
like
5,
you said,
6%.
if he was doing seltzers, you're definitely going to 12-pack.
Right. Well, it's seltzer. But doing sours, you probably do, would you do a slim or a slick 4-pack?
I would
think you could. I think if it's like one of those, like the Imperial sours where it's high ABV, ton of fruit. I think that could get away in a sleek 4-pack. But I think like you do like a fruited Berliner, that's probably going to be, I don't know, maybe a 8-pack.
They make the packaging for that, like
Sure.
the click tops and everything.
Yeah.
Anything you want.
Yeah, anything you want.
There, you can obtain it.
It's all within my grasp.
The
You
world
can-
is your oyster.
Whatever
exactly.
packaging you want, somebody's making it.
A bunch more people checking in really quick. Bellingham Brewery checking in. Barnshed Brewing's checking in. OJ Clancy said what's up. Really quick. So you had, like a pretty storied past here between the farm. You opened the factory. Now you have downtown. How is this whole business plan expanding? Are you looking for more places? Obviously, I would assume you guys are working with the New York State license at this point for farm license.
Yep. Yeah. So the way that we kind of went about it was the factory started off as just trying to find like a warehouse that we could stick some tanks in and just brew.
Oh, you found a warehouse. This is for the people that don't know. Look up Beer Tree Factory. Holy balls! It is let's call it a campus of beer. There's a beautiful outside. Well, I'll let you describe it. Tell us a little bit about the factory.
Yeah. So we were looking for just a little warehouse to brew some beers. And then we met up with this local guy, this local real estate guy, and he's like, "Hey, there's a property I want to show you." So we go with him, and he takes us to our Oakdale Mall, which is our local shopping mall.
Yeah.
And we go to the north end to the Sears building. So we walk into the Sears building, and it's we were upstairs. So our Sears, it was like the automotive. They had 6 different bays upstairs for automotive.
Like literal Sears, right? I mean, we're
Sears
talking about
Roebuck.
Sears Roebuck, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, we walked in there and it was like, this is not going to be a brewery. This looks absolutely terrible. And then we kind of circled around. It was really my brother-in-law who was like, no, I can see this. We got something here. Like we got good bones. We can work with
Good
this.
bones.
And then I'm just sweating over there like, Jesus Christ, we're screwed. But I mean, it ended up being, it was an awesome project, and it's been such an awesome facility, but we ended up taking a different spot than what we first looked at.
Okay.
So we have the upstairs, downstairs.
Yes.
The brewing systems downstairs. And then we also have a tap room. And then like we knocked out the whole side of the building to put all glass in. And then we have stairs that go up to the restaurant side, which is upstairs. Wood-fired pizza. We built this massive deck there.
Dude, it's awesome.
So we only took 23,000 square feet of the Sears, which was like a 200,000 square foot building. So we've got some awesome neighbors there too, which has been sweet.
And not to mention the outside too. I mean, they got an So to give people some sort of connection to what we have here on Long Island, if you know, like the Sunrise Mall, pour some out for the Sunrise Mall eventually. There is an upstairs and a downstairs, but if you drive up, like it's separated by grade.
Yep.
Like the gradation of Sunrise Mall, you can get into the second floor by parking in a spot up top, and then you can get into the downstairs floor by parking in a lower spot. And it's the same kind of concept here, that if you go into like the major front of the brewery, you're in the first floor, and you walk in, and then the whole brewing area is over there on the left, and then you kind of follow around into this kind of bar area that they have set up, and then you go upstairs, and it's the second floor, and it's all of the restaurant, the tables, the bar, huge bar, love the bar, huge fucking fire pizza oven, dude. This thing is massive. Dude, they keep that thing running. Dude, it is, you could probably fit a dozen pizzas in there, if not more, in this giant
wood
cyclical.
or coal?
It's wood.
It's wood. All
It's
wood. We go
awesome.
through so much wood. It is
bro.
awesome. It is such a pain in the ass to keep that thing rolling.
And they keep it lit, dude. That thing is constantly going.
Wow.
Who's your wood fire chef? I met him like 2 years ago when I first got there. I was hanging out with him. God, what was his name? I gotta remember. He was
Luigi.
No, it was it was not Luigi.
Well, so our chef. So we have our executive chef is Val, Chef Val. She's kind of like our wood fired.
Oh, I've seen her. Yes, yep, I know Val.
Yeah, and then we've got a couple gurus that run that thing.
Yeah, I mean it's like a locomotive. You got to constantly be feeding that thing, and then
All right, what I'm interested, besides that,
Yeah.
obviously, because fat guys like pizza, how many taps you have at the factory?
well, no, the fat guys like taps too. I mean,
That's what I'm going with.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
We got 24.
24.
yeah.
Now I know why you were going to turn around and go back.
Dude, I've taken pictures and sent it to you
I
guys.
know.
I'm like, dude, have you seen this place? Look at this. It is a beer oasis. And unfortunately, the only time I get up there in the nice weather is like July or August, and they usually send us up through Albany, and my route doesn't take me to go west to come back east to Albany. So that's my problem. In like the warm months where I have my meetings to go upstate, I don't get to kind of travel through Binghamton. So I've never really enjoyed the outside. Now I'm hoping at the end of April, the weather's nice enough, I can have a beer, go outside on the deck. It is really nice. So you guys obviously chose this place, and it's still under construction, right? They're still building stuff in there. What's the plan for the mall as it was?
Yeah, so right next to us and kind of surrounding us on upstairs and downstairs, our local hospital chain called Lords. They put in this beautiful gym facility.
Yes,
to, if you're looking at like the bottom floor in the front, they're they're off to our left.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got like their offices and I think some outpatient services, and then a pharmacy upstairs kind of behind where our restaurant is. And then the Broome County, we're in Broome County. Broome County offices are kind of like tucked behind that, all still within the Sears building. So we've
Holy
got
cow.
So you can go get your
hundreds of office
outpatient,
employees.
services, and then go have a delicious meal and some beer within walking distance of what you're about to do.
And if they have anything to deal with, they have right there, they have,
You got doctors on call almost most of the time that you're in service.
Hey, yeah, I'm having a little episode now.
It's a great thing. Yeah.
I'm having a little episode, but I got to finish my beer and my chicken sandwich.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, as that develops, because it literally was like an old mall that they're renovating and changing into something a little more modern, you're going to have a lot more parking, foot traffic, everything, and it's only started. I mean, that place, 2 or 3 years ago when I was there, it looked amazing. From the street, it's a huge, I took that picture of my selfie, and it's just Beer Tree Factory right on the front. It's humongous. You can see it from a mile away. It is a beer oasis. And if you didn't know had beer at it, it says Beer Tree Factory. Factory just right off the bat tells you, you're going to get some beer. There's
some beer in here.
So much beer here, and there is. Let's talk a little bit about the expansion into the downtown, and you have one other location, right?
We have 3 locations that are beer, and then we have 1.5 locations that are coffee.
Oh, that's right. Because I got wait. I got a package, right? So Chris sent us a package of some beer that we're gonna have, and we're gonna talk about in a minute. It said batch coffee, so I get a UPS alert saying batch coffee is sending you beer. Just sending you a package, not beer. Yeah. But whatever. I'm like, batch coffee. So I go to my wife. I said, did you order coffee on Amazon?
God damn you, woman. You ordering coffee again?
She orders K-Cups, and it's fine. Sometimes at Amazon, it comes from the third party, so it gets sent to you. She goes, no, I didn't order coffee. So I have to go on my phone. Batch coffee from Binghamton. I'm like, Beer Tree.
And I know who it is.
I know what's coming. And I sat there on my couch doing one of these, like little Smithers. Give me the beers. And the fine gentleman bringing me my beer handed me the package, and I went, oh, my God, that's really, really heavy.
There's a lot of liquid in there.
That's not coffee at all, unless it has weights in it. So, in the end, batch coffee, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. So,
where
did that come out of? Like, you guys were just like, man, we drink so much coffee to begin with. Let's just open something.
You have a farm, you have a brewery, you need coffee, period.
Yeah. Well, no. So, I mean, that's how it went. But no, it was, we got linked up with this local roaster back. This was years ago when we were doing our Morning Timber series, Coffee Stout. And we were using kind of just like I think Coffee Bean Direct was what I was sourcing that off of, just like some generic ass coffee. And then we switched to using his locally roasted coffee, and it like took that beer to a whole new level.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
without
amazing
doubt.
how that works, right?
Bro, it
Just
is.
yeah, like,
more
now
craft
I'm a
coffee.
coffee snob too, so it's like I try to drink other like more generic coffee, and then I get all sad because it kind of doesn't taste good. And then it's like, oh
Get
man,
all
like
sad.
my taste buds are ruined.
So you mean my Dunkin' Donuts isn't shit? Yeah, that is true.
Well, I mean, for us, I had Giorgio's
Yeah.
over in Farmingdale, and
Yeah.
anything I brewed with what he roasted.
It was amazing, right? I mean,
It was
it's such a
just
difference in.
unbelievable.
How about we had Backwards Flag on the
Even-
show years ago,
Even
and
after Giorgio's Flux, when I did
Flux
when I did
does great
Flux
stuff.
coffee, unbelievable.
Backwards Flag brewery down in it's a veteran-owned brewery, female veteran-owned brewery down in New Jersey. They have this program where they send veterans into unique places in the globe, and they go and harvest these unique coffee beans from very like remote places of the world, and they bring them back, and some of those are brewed right there in the brewery. The tastes are like just stupid. Just some of the such unique craft, coffee beans that are out
Flavors
there.
that you will get out of
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
Out of a single coffee bean, you're like, what the hell is that? Where did that come from? I mean, you
pretty
guys,
cool stuff.
yeah, it's so you guys are sourcing a lot of this from, smaller places, obviously, and trying to get. And how's that business doing? Like, how is a coffee business in addition to a brewery manageable?
And a farm.
Yeah,
So
And an ice skating rink.
yeah,
And
there's this space. So at the factory between like the tap room and the fitness center, we built in, because we knew that the Lord's Fitness Center was going to come in next to us. So we built in like this little glass cube between their facility and our
kiosk.
facility. A little, more or less, yeah.
yeah.
And we ended up making that into like a smoothie and coffee bar.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of
that was some forward thinking right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. We're gonna get a fitness place.
We got a fitness place. Yeah, we're gonna make some
We need smoothies
smoothies
and coffee.
and some coffee.
yeah. Give the people an option, so that's like, I really want a beer and a pizza, but I'll just grab a
But,
smoothie
yeah.
and coffee.
Yeah, I gotta go
And then
work
I'll go have a
out.
beer and
But it's
pizza.
Friday, so now I'm gonna get that pizza
It's
and
cheat
beer.
day. Cheat day. I can have that
Yeah.
beer and pizza. But other 4 days of the week, I can go ahead and splurge with
Smoothie and coffees.
smoothies and coffees. And do you guys? You obviously still trying to move that forward. You have the downtown area now that's
Yep.
kind of moving in a good direction. Give us a little breakdown of that space.
Yeah, so the downtown, we actually signed that lease. It was December 31st, 2019.
Oh,
So like
okay.
right at the end of 2019.
So it was
before
recently,
2020. So we were the plan was to get production at factory rolling, and then to do like the tap room restaurant downtown. But once COVID hit, that was like it doesn't really make sense to try to work on two projects at once. So then we put the focus in the factory, and then once that was done, plus or minus 6 months to a year or so, I think somewhere in there, we were rolling with the downtown space. So it's in downtown Binghamton.
Yep.
We got a space. It used to be an old bank it's called the Marine Midland building. It's like this really unique building in Binghamton. It's like this massive N structure, and it's got like a hole through the middle of it, and it's all student housing. So we got
Really?
that space. Yeah.
Is it right by the
I guess
college?
it's not all student housing. It's 2 miles away, 2.5, 3 miles away. Pretty close.
You didn't have to get any special permission to open a brewery in a like a quote unquote housing space, or I guess I'm assuming that some of the college students are going to be there, right?
Yeah. Yep. We had to go through quite a bit of hoops for the city just to make sure that it was all like good to go. But I don't know. There's no like, oh, there's student housing here. Like that's a no.
That's no,
which is cool.
That's business stuff right now.
Yeah. So let's see, downtown opened up. That was March of last year. Yeah, because we just did our 1 year anniversary this past weekend. So that was plus or minus a year after we opened. And then we opened up the rooftop. So it's like, I guess to describe it, there's the student housing building, and then the building itself is like one story and it kind of like runs out a little bit.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of like kind of off parcels. Well, they're not off parcels; they're all attached, but a couple different parcels that are attached to that building. And it is like a single story. It's like a 20-foot high ceiling, and then there's the rooftop. So we put up outside on our patio. We did a stairwell that goes up to the rooftop, and we did like a deck up there with
Rooftop beer tree beers.
Yeah, the only rooftop in Binghamton, New York.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
See, now that's something to.
Yeah.
That's how you advertise.
Oh, dude.
The only rooftop. People just hear that and they don't care what you have.
Do you want to get lucky?
You
Come
just
to the
want-
rooftop bar.
Oh, there it
Only
is.
rooftop in Binghamton.
There it is.
That's the way to go. Dude, you've expanded over like a 5-6 year period. What do you attribute the success to? Is it the
Besides
liquid?
I was going to say, besides the good, really
it's
good beer.
delicious. We're gonna have so many things to talk about after we've been drinking a little bit. But is it just the liquid? Is it more to like the brand? How do you kind of attribute
the
all
area,
this? Like what the
facilities?
because there are other breweries by there. You know, I've been to the north. I've been to other places in and around Binghamton. It's got to be the essence. I want to hear from Chris, though. I want to see what he thinks.
Yeah. Oh, I think there's a lot of different things. I mean, I gotta say, from the day that we opened the community reception, like I grew up in this area, like born and raised. I never expected that we would receive the support that we received right off the bat. So I mean, I give. I mean, our community, like without the people who have showed up for us since day one, I mean, of course there would be nothing. Then also like our staff, we've got some awesome staff that, because like we do move quickly, and the way that we've kind of had to do things, it's like there's not that many people to cover a whole crap load of different things. So it's like just having a team that's like, oh shit, like, this is a lot, but like, let's go. You know, I mean, that's been huge too. Just like having a crew that's like okay with like stepping out of their comfort zone and like, holy shit, like this is, I don't know what a coffee brand's supposed to be, but I'm gonna build one today, and I'll have you some like different ideas by tomorrow morning kind of thing. It's just like everything that we're surrounded, all the people we're surrounded with, from the community to the staff, it's like everyone is okay with us doing weird stuff and like kind of like keeping and trying to push forward. So
that's great to hear.
Yeah.
That means the employees, the team, they believe in the product, they believe in what you guys are doing, and that's always great to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
I think the beer is pretty darn good.
Yeah. You might be right there.
Yeah,
I might be biased, though.
You got something going. I
You got a little something going on here.
All right, we have a special segment set up here. It's the 9 o'clock hour.
Oh yeah.
And we gonna find out a little bit about you, sir, and your beer drinking habits. This segment is called Steve's 3 Questions. We have a little promo music, and then we'll get right into it. Here we go. Hey, you cool hep cats. Tonight, we bring you a very special presentation. 3 questions with our very own Steve Pominski. Yeah. Steve's questions. 3 questions from Steve. 3 questions. Steve's questions. Go. What's funny is I actually had, wow, this is now it's not changing. All right, it's okay. We're gonna, oh wow, oh boy. Oh, there we go. I don't. What the hell happened there? All right, it's all right. I like the split screen sometimes. Yeah. Steve, take it away.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, Chris, I got 3 questions for you. They're real easy. Nothing, I'm not going to ask you like your social security number or anything like that.
I would like to know that.
Well,
though.
okay.
However,
Steve, I'll tell you.
as co-on on air, let's go.
No, these are, just honest answers, whatever comes right to you. But we'll start right off. I'm going to go one at a time. So, What was that first beer that you had that turned you on to craft beer? What was that one that you said, there's something going on here. I got to find out more.
It was Trogs. Nugget Nectar?
Nugget Nectar. Nice.
I don't think we've had that one
No.
like straight up and down like
No.
that. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's because I mean I graduated college in 2016,
Hey,
so I didn't
you.
have like a whole bunch of craft beer experience until really jumping into the industry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was the Nugget Nectar.
Nice.
It's a good one.
Oh my God, yeah. I remember when that first was finally getting distributed to New York, and everybody was going nuts to try to get their hands on it.
Was it that big of a deal?
Yeah, Nugget Nectar was
Yeah?
a big deal. All right. Right now, what is your favorite style?
My favorite style for recipe development would be I'm still all about the hazies. I love there's a lot of new hot products coming out. There's a lot of like the whole thiolized yeast thing, which is a whole that's an animal that I don't think is quite understood all the way yet. But I love developing hazies. And then from just like a enjoyment standpoint, I think pretty much anything light. After drinking hazies for 5 years, it's like
I just
like
need
that
something.
12-month fooder like that.
Oh God,
I love that stuff. And like we did a fooder aged Oktoberfest.
Oh.
That was phenomenal as well.
Now
The
you guys,
Schwartz beer, that lift lager.
the food, are you guys just using it for the wood flavor, or
you now have my attention. By
Well-
the way,
well,
about
no,
Oktoberfest.
no? Because some it's you get different breweries, and some of them don't want the wood flavor. They just want it to
Yeah, but
house
can you
their
imagine
house their bugs.
Imagine that in Oktoberfest. Shit.
Well,
Yeah, so we use it for the oak. We use
Yeah.
it for more of the flavor. Yeah, we don't have any bugs on purpose in any of them. We're just doing all clean aging right now.
cool. How long have you had it, and what is its capacity?
We have 6 of them. They're 10 barrels each, and we've had them since November of 2020.
So,
Oh, wow.
So pandemic time.
Okay.
Yeah, we opened up the factory. We started brewing there in August of 2020. Started construction there in March of 2020, but the tap room opened up in November.
Any
2020 as well.
Any thoughts of using a couple of them for for sours?
We've done some like clean sours. So like we've done a kettle sour and we've aged it in the oak.
Oh, okay.
Just because I don't know the whole getting some bacteria in there and
Once they're in,
not being able to
once
just, like,
they're
flip
in,
the switch to pasteurize it.
Yep.
Yeah.
once they're in, they're in.
I'm a little terrified of that.
Yeah, really quick before we just went back on Instagram Live. Jay Clancy's checking back in. Joey Abruzzo saying what's up.
Joey.
Slick Rick from Barrage Barrier. I know, I do it on purpose. From Barrier Brewing Company. What's up, Ricky? So we're here with Chris from Beer Tree Brew Co. Up in Binghamton, New York, and
We got another question.
we got more questions for Steve.
We got one more.
Questions.
One more.
One more?
One more. Yeah.
What was it?
Come on, bro.
What was
you
2?
gotta pay attention.
I'm too busy with the
All
technology.
right. Okay. Second one was he likes which I like.
I had
what he
Nugget
did.
Nectar. I got that
what
one.
what he did. He split.
Yeah.
What he likes to develop and what
Yeah.
he likes to brew.
Okay.
Hazies.
Okay, all right, yeah.
But
I did hear that.
after hazy,
Yeah, it's all about the crazy
He's a nice crispy boy.
crispy boy. Yeah,
Make
all
you
right.
make you happy.
So he was a crispy boy. He was a hazy boy. Okay, all right.
There you go.
I got it.
All right. Last and final question, sir. What is that one beer that if you were at a bar or restaurant from any time, any place, anywhere, except one of your beers, what is that one beer you would hope to find on tap that you could enjoy?
It's a puzzler.
Tough one. I mean, I think of like the tall boys of Founders All Day IPA at like the ballpark.
That's a good one.
I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I had one.
A tall boy?
I had a tall boy all day IPA at the Good Life on
They had tall boys there? Like 19s?
19s.
Oh, boy.
The other night, Saturday.
Did you pour it in a glass?
Of course I did.
Oh, of course you did.
Of course, I can't.
You can't drink that huge freaking rocket ship.
I saw it sitting in the fridge, and I'm like, just give me that goddamn. And it was wonderful.
It was like $6.
It was there.
Like nothing. I know. But
don't.
Either way, like that's one of the ones where. So I'll give you this, Chris. I loved all day IPA. The problem with it for me was always it's too low ABV for me, and after drinking so much of it, I get that hazy headache, that hop headache. I don't know if anyone else experiences this out in the world, but if you drink too much of
hops,
hop water,
well, hops have histamine in them.
yeah.
Which,
should I drink an antihistamine as well?
Well, no. If you are susceptible,
quercetin.
Yeah.
But
I'm not though. I drink a shit ton of hop beer.
Well, you know what?
This was. But I'm serious though. Like I get a 12-pack of the all day IPAs. I drink the shit out of them in the backyard or wherever we're going, Mets game or whatever it is. Right. I love it. But then I just feel like that headache coming on, almost like if you drank too much wine. For me, I'm also too much wine drinker. I get a headache. Yeah, but that's more of the heartburn that I get. It's not so much the headache. The headache is something a little different. But the hop headache that I get from drinking that much does get to me, and it kind of turns me away. But I love the beer.
Well, here's the thing:
the beer, and I could drink so much of it.
And
that
as
might
Chris
be my
said,
problem.
though, what it reminds him of, going to the ball game.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I mean, UBS. We go to to UBS, see the Islanders play, and they got the 19s, man.
Yeah, they got the 19s.
Oh, yeah.
It is nice. I could drink one of those 19s and be fine. I drink 2, 3, 4, and now I have a problem with just that feeling of like over hoppiness in my system.
Last time at UBS, I drank 6 19s.
Yeah,
and the majority of them were the not Kronenbourgs.
Which ones?
It's one of the German beers they have. The
Steiners.
Wursteiners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just went down like
I go with
water.
I go with why can't I just think of it? I had it and I lost it. Oh, Voodoo Ranger.
Oh, Voodoo Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's again, obviously it's at every freaking major, Ticketmaster location
in Jamaica now.
Yeah.
When I get out of work, right there.
Yeah.
They have 19 Voodoos, 19 Torpedo from Sierra Nevada.
Torpedo, I do. Yeah.
19 in what the hell's the other two?
Ghost.
Oh,
East Coast Ghost.
No, East Coast Ghost.
Yeah.
Bully.
Yeah, Bully.
Zombie Dust.
Oh, they do have zombie.
Yeah.
Dust. Oh, yeah. That's coming and making its way back around. Yeah. But I agree with you, Chris. I mean, having that option to just drink a lot of that deliciousness and not for a huge price and not for knock over your head kind of feel, it makes sense, but I wish I could hang with it. It just doesn't vibe with me as much after the first one.
Well, here's the question. Yeah. Do you guys do 19s at all, or have you thought about them? Or?
No, not really.
Nope.
No,
nope.
12s, 16s, and maybe some sleeks.
Yeah.
Well, our canning line runs 16s, and I swear to God, every time we run it, it feels like the first day we're running it. I can't change that thing over to anything else. So
I was gonna say, you guys
co-packers out there that can do the 19s. Then
do you have your own canning line?
Yeah.
I would imagine with the amount of labels that you guys are churning out.
And like they have a factory, okay?
I know they have a factory.
They have a fucking factory. Of course, they can have a canning line.
Hey, apologize.
Come on, a farm, a factory, coffee.
Yeah.
I think they're doing sushi next.
Console Brewing's checking in. Fletch JDM's checking in. What's up, guys, on Instagram? Steve, why don't you start breaking down this beer? Let's start with the... Steve, I said.
Oh, why me?
Because I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Well... Talk to everybody. Let's start with what we started drinking tonight, because there is no way we're getting through all of these beers. Though I need a fourth though. We need to whip out that fourth.
I got a Schwartz beer.
Yeah. Oh my God, the Schwartz beer, Chris.
Schwartz.
Oh
Schwartz
my God.
With you.
See, that's what sold me this year, Chris. I sent them Steve and Pete, our other co-host, who's not here tonight. I sent them a picture of the Schwartz beer because we all like a good dark lager, and I got to tell you, this thing got me. This was one of the ones where I'm like, you want a Schwartz beer This is the Schwartz beer. So I guess we're going to
We'll
start.
be having it
Yeah,
very
well,
soon.
I don't want you to talk about that yet because I'm not going to be in the
I'm
room.
actually going to drink the whole can.
You son of a
before
bitch! Don't you
get
dare.
back.
I want you to start with the Pilsner. So you sent us the Crisp Trees Pilsner. Delicious in and of itself. Why don't you break down that beer again? Don't give away any secrets, but give us a little rundown of that one.
Yeah, so the Crisp Trees, that is I guess grain bill. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's Pilsner. We do throw in a little bit of corn, just a touch. Pretty standard fermentation and lagering process. We do add in a dry hop to that. So it's dry hopped with a New York State Cascade that comes from the farm. If our farm's out, then we use a different New York State Cascade from one of our partner farms.
Are you using a lot of New York State malt on this beer, or?
Yeah, so that one's got. I try to keep it pretty close to the 60%.
Okay.
So it's not 100% New York State, but it does have. I think it's about 65% of a New York State malt, just a 2-row, and then the remainder is. I think that's Breeze.
Okay. Yep.
The brewers. And then, a little bit of just a dash of corn. So with that one, when we dry hop it, well, I guess that'd be getting into the secret. So we dry hop it with Cascade and send it on through.
Yeah, it's that was the first one we cracked today, and great color, clear as beautiful golden color to it, nice and crisp. Everything that you would look for in a Pilsner. Do you guys do any other, anything, just lagered or, cream ale, anything like, do you have other ones besides this? Obviously we had the Fuda series, so.
Yep. Yeah. So we do our, Tree Light cream ale. We do hollow pills, German style.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got a nice selection of, it's all Hallertau, hops in that. Man, trying to dig back through the recipe. So we got the German style pills.
Bro, with the amount of goddamn recipes that you have, that you're just giving me a part of it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's pretty impressive.
How many?
So.
Yeah, little do you know, I have all my recipes printed out on my next to me on the counter.
He's got a dossier.
It's right next to him.
And then we do Boat Launch is one that's coming out. We try to drop that right before Memorial Day weekend. That's just that's as light as we'll go. That's like your American lager, just like a
easy drinking lawnmower beer.
Yeah, boat beer.
Boat beer. Wait.
Pontoon boat beer.
I was gonna say. So when you guys say boat beer, where are you guys boating out of? Finger Lakes? Are we going out of local watering holes? Like, how's that?
Just we fill up the bathtub and we all kind of jump around it.
This guy.
We go Finger Lakes. A lot of Finger Lakes.
Yeah, a lot of Finger Lake.
Yep.
Yeah. So when we say boat beer, we're like, all right, we're going out on the Great South Bay, Long Island Sound.
Yeah, it's
boat beers are a lot easier to drink when you're in a lake.
Oh, hell yeah. You know what though? Don't lakes have waves, bro.
Agreed, but listen. I'm going to say this. I would much rather prefer, and not so much. I'll say this: Great South Bay. Okay, it's dirty as shit, all right? You got the brown tides. I don't like swimming in it at all. It's garbage. The canals, everyone's throwing in pissing and shitting and whatever. The ocean, the Atlantic Ocean on our barrier beaches is beautiful. It's probably one of a kind, outside of like Jersey or even like the East Coast. The sound, I could care less. It's a body of water that I'd rather be driving on rather than, or driving under. If they ever finish that tunnel. There's nothing
to it.
It's crap.
There's nothing to it.
But when you talk about
and the beaches are all rocks.
Yeah. Ugh. So when you go to a lake, the only thing I'm ever worried about in a lake, worried about like
gators.
No, not up in Finger Lakes. Gators.
I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
You're afraid of leeches.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, not at least.
You should be, though.
No. I'm
snakes?
Nope.
Snow? Oh.
Nope, not snakes. Don't even think about snakes. I would think about
Chupacabras.
Stop it. Snapping turtles?
But not in a big lake.
Not in a big lake, but like in a smaller lake.
Those are like little ponds.
I know, and you can just kick them in the shell and they go away. I get it. But the other thing is, it's that mossy branches that could just take in the mud. In the mud that's in a lake.
You're thinking more of ponds.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're. Yeah.
Yeah, because ponds have got that slime on the bottom.
But I love the fact that they're fresh water. Like you go into a nice lake.
Yeah, it's nice. Pristine.
And it's just nice.
And then Jason Voorhees comes out and freaking gets you with the
from the depths of no.
Pulls
I'm
you
not worried.
in.
I'm not worried about Jason Voorhees. You're thinking I was worried about a murder, but I was not.
Now here's a Long Island thing.
He is
I way back when
Loch Ness Monster?
me and my buddy
at the Ronkonkoma Lake.
We're like, hey, we're gonna his aunt had a house right on
His aunt. Okay.
yeah on
I say
Yaphank,
aunt.
Yaphank Lake.
Okay. Yaphank. Okay. Yeah.
So we go, and it's not really a lake; it's a really huge pond.
No, it's big. I've been paddleboarding on it.
So-
And by the way, I much rather paddleboard on a freshwater body of water than a saltwater body of water. Because when you fall in, whatever.
But we scuba dived into it,
Yeah.
and we were going down. It was probably 15 feet.
Could you see?
Yeah, it was clear.
It's clear, huh?
Clear. Sunfish, perch going around.
Nice.
It was pretty cool. Some turtles. We come out and we're on the edge of the bank, and we're just hanging out there, just kind of sitting, taking our stuff off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's that on my fucking leg? Leeches.
You had leeches.
Had several leeches.
Really?
Just waiting.
This was a pond or a lake?
This is Yaphank Lake.
See, I'm not even worried about.
It's basically a pond. Though.
That's where they dump all the raw sewage, just so you know, out of like Indian Head nuclear power plant or something.
Whatever.
Wherever they pump that
Those
stuff
leeches
into.
were looking to suck me.
You don't have any of that, do you? Got going on, Chris?
No.
No. See, I mean, that's bananas.
It's upstate.
Yeah, because everything's pristine up there for the most part. I mean, everything that I've been
untouched.
to. Yeah, exactly.
It's untouched.
It's not overdeveloped, and people aren't dumping raw sewage.
Man.
Yeah, well, that's what ruins everything in the end. You guys, obviously, with being or having the ability to brew so much. I did a full pivot there, right?
Yeah,
I was going to go with both beers again,
nice.
but
nice.
I'm just saying, with you guys having the ability to brew so much beer. How often are you changing up these recipes? What does your schedule look like? Is it like
17,000 recipes?
it's easy. They're all in a dossier right next to them. How often are you guys kind of reinventing things and changing things and having new recipes come out? Like, how often do you change up the profiles?
Every day.
Fairly often.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends, right? It's like we got a couple core beers now. We've never really had like a core lineup. Now we're starting to get 5.5 years in. We're finally like, oh, we should do a core lineup.
What is your core lineup right now? You like 5 beers or?
Yeah. Well, it kind of changes. But like our main one's Any Days Haze. So that's kind of like the first one that we started to make and have it available all the time. And the next one was Juice Land, which I think you have V3 there.
Yes, I have. Do you have Juice? It's the orange label. He has it. We have it over in the box here. I got that when I was up there in February. So yeah, probably V3.
Yep.
Let me see. Hey,
Yep.
Steve. Yep, V3. He's got it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that I had at the brewery early on. And then every time I'm there, that's one of the core brands that I'm really looking for each time because it just doesn't disappoint.
I like that.
Yeah, so we're let's see, this Friday we're dropping our 4th version of that.
Are you changing?
Oh, wow.
What are you changing of that?
That one is just hops.
Okay. So standard,
so same grain bill,
same base, yeah, and then just changing up the hops a little bit.
Yeah, but so V3, I used the thiolized yeast in that, and it was a wild experience. So it's like every time I use these thiolized yeast, it's there's like this unknown grace period, and it generally happens like once it's in the cans that you'll crack open a can and it'll just like smell like a fresh pack of tennis balls. And I have no idea why it happens, but you let it sit there for a couple more days, then it like switches back and it's fine. So that's like a situation where Untapped screwed us.
Yeah.
Because we released the spirits, like we're tasting it on the canning line. It's like, oh yeah, like high fives, like good job, team. This is great. It's like a day later, you crack open the can and it's like, what the hell is this?
You get that little when like when we'd open a fresh pack of tennis balls, some Spaldings.
You know what?
Yeah,
I think everyone can relate to that smell. I don't think there's anybody alive that haven't smelled a fresh pack of tennis balls. Is that a bold statement?
So you're saying that everyone has smelled fresh balls?
I feel like everyone has smelt a fresh pack of balls.
All right.
If you haven't smelt fresh balls, then you haven't lived.
You haven't lived.
You know, go to
have
Dick's
lived.
today.
Go get some fresh balls.
Go to the tennis department and just crack open a fresh set of balls.
Fuck those guys. I'm not buying it. I just want to smell it. And just crack a fresh can of balls.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's a unique smell.
Bro, this is what that he said that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a fucking unique smell.
It is a very unique smell.
Yeah, and it just had a very unique smell to it. And then it switches completely back. It's happened twice now using thiolized yeast.
And what's the
who
reasoning?
Who are you getting that from?
Yeah.
Just
that's Omega.
Oh, okay.
The thiolized.
Okay. I wonder if that's in the description. You know,
fresh pack of tennis balls.
Fresh pack of tennis balls, mango, and
fresh balls, little cat poop, little litter box action.
Oh, I wouldn't want those at all. I'd be like,
llama spit and.
Oh, Jesus! It'd be otter pissing droppings.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about some of these labels because
we haven't even gotten through the beers.
That's what I want to talk about. So
okay.
You have a unique label here that caught my eye that you sent us. This is hot dogs in hot tubs. So this one we had somewhere right before Steve's 3 questions, and we were both looking at each other like, yeah, now that's a good hazy because it's bright, it's clean. Tell us a little bit about hot dogs in hot tubs.
So I don't want to. I wish I had like a sweet story behind it. It's actually. So I saw that label when I was getting the package ready to send you. I was like, I gotta send this. It's we packaged Any Days Haze as hot dogs and hot tubs for an event. It's a pond skimming event at our local ski mountain.
Okay.
And they set up a whole bunch of these hot tubs at the base of the mountain. So it's like people hanging out in the hot tubs, and you got like the lunatics whipping down the mountain and skimming across the pond. And so we just did it as an event for them. But it's such a cool label that I just had to send it. Had to share it.
That's
a great beer. It's a great beer.
Yeah, that was so. This was, what did you say it was? It was Any Days Haze.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just a different label on that one.
Yes.
Oh man, it is. That's one of the ones where, yeah, I've definitely had that before, and that one is so bright, so clean, and still has that dankness of a hazy.
Oh, it was a very bright hazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice crispness to it. The hops pop.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, as soon as I cracked it, that's the one thing.
You smell it immediately. Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Gotta love
what hop profile are you using on that?
Actually, I believe
that's
it says it.
Cascade Citra Strata.
Yep.
Oh, it does say it.
Yeah.
You know what's great about? Yeah, I like their labels. It says, "I'm cool AF." Stormy at 36 degrees Fahrenheit, please. Don't be a dick. No, it doesn't say don't be a dick. and screw me up. But that's exactly it. Like some of these, breweries don't really realize that some of their distributed beers are going to sit on a shelf rather than in a cooler. Is that something? So let me ask you this, Chris. When you guys are looking to distribute, and I don't know if you are yet or not, but you produce so much 16-ounce 4-packs. Do you have local distribution? Are you going to local, beer distributors or bottle shops or stuff like that?
Tavor,
yeah. So we do. We run our own self-distribution in New York State for the most part, minus Long Island, minus the 5 boroughs.
Listen, get your rep down here. I'm gonna give them like 3 or 4 places that would hold your shit at least.
Could have sent Mark from Hopscotch.
We have Serene, so Serene covers us.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I guess, yeah. So they cover us for Long Island in the city because it's like for us to drive. We used to distribute to like Manhattan, for example. It's like we go and drop off at 4 spots in
Yep.
Manhattan, and it's a 12-hour day, and
Yeah.
it's brutal. So we self-distro for the rest of New York State minus High Peak Zone as well. We have a distributor up there.
Okay.
We have a local distributor that covers just like certain locations that we aren't able to get in as like with our self-distro model. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then we're in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Ohio.
You're in Delaware?
And then we do Tavor. Working on Arizona. That should be fired up probably in the next month.
Arizona. Holy
Cool.
shit. So you can get it beer tree in Arizona, but I can't get it down here on Long Island. I guess I can, but just got to know where.
But you gotta go to New York.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or you go to Tavor, really, and you get it shipped right
Or
to your.
Tavor.
to
Yeah,
your-
fuck those guys.
Yeah, well, they were good for like
Yeah.
year 2 sponsorship, but then they just kind of fizzled out. I mean, not that they're
But
fizzling.
I'll be down in Delaware.
People are using it all over the country.
I'll
I'm
be
not
down in
downplaying
Delaware in about 3 weeks.
Looking
4
for beer
weeks.
tree?
Well, I'm gonna be down there. So what the fuck? They have a beer shop right in where my daughter goes to school.
Oh, yeah,
University
yeah,
of Delaware. So
Do you guys have anything with Total Wine or anything like that?
Yeah, I think we are in the Total Wines. They're in Maryland and Delaware,
Yeah.
we got one down by us, baby.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I think we're in some of them.
Yeah,
All
well,
of them.
if anyone's
I don't know.
listening right now, still through the hour and a half of craziness, you need to go to Total Wine and look up Beer Tree, or go to Tavor and go look up some Beer Tree beers, because you guys will not be disappointed. Let's break down the Schwartz beer here, because this is what really got me this year. You guys produced one of the best, in my opinion, best Schwartz beers I've ever had. Give me the breakdown on this. Tell me a little bit about this. What am I drinking? What am I putting into my body?
What are you consuming?
Yeah,
So that is that was a pretty cool one. That was it took a little bit of sourcing to find the right grains to use for that. Because it's not like all brewers or using like Breeze Black or chocolate or whatever. So I pulled in some Munich and Carafa.
I taste that Munich.
Para
by the way.
Munichs. What's that?
I taste that Munich, by the way. I think that's what does it. Because I like that.
And then it's got Hallertau and Tettnang for hops.
Oh, okay.
It
So-
just it
What-
provides such a great balance for what it is.
Do you remember what yeast blend you were using for that?
I think I do. I do know.
He's got it. He's going through.
He's
his
not gonna let us know, though.
No, he will.
I do. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna let you know. I think I'm gonna leave that.
You know what? Fuck you guys. You guys.
I'm not gonna let
And
you
then-
guys know.
Hey guys.
I mean the water profile too. Like that's one of the coolest things. I screw around with that. That's probably what I change the most is working off an RO system. We have infinite flexibility to take a water profile and be like, oh, I want to look up whatever Dublin's water profile for my dry Irish, or I want to look up, you just kind of pick and choose different water profiles and build it out that way. And I don't know, I have fun with that.
How was the water up by you guys?
That's what I was about to ask. So, what is the profile? What do you guys have as a base to work off of? from
Hard,
there?
soft.
Hard. It is
Hard.
so well. So when we were out in Port Crane, we drilled a well because it's the farm. So we drilled this well, and the dude starts pulling the water through while he's getting it all hooked up, and it tastes like the freaking ocean.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, it's all right. It'll pour out.
It's
pour out.
height.
So we're running this thing. It's like 24 hours. We run it overnight, and we get to the next day, and it's still like pissing out like into the field, and it still tastes like the freaking ocean. Wow. And he's like, yeah,
Hose
I've been
water.
doing this for 40 years, and this has never happened before. But I mean, if you guys want me to drill a new well, it'll be $15,000.
Nope.
So that was that. So we already planned on doing like an RO system setup because it's like when we were home brewing, that was kind of what made the biggest difference for us, is going from using well water that was kind of dog shit and then switching it over to RO and building it up. So we were planning on doing that anyways, but
for our guests, that's reverse osmosis.
Yeah. So what?
Yes, reverse osmosis.
What are you guys, adding and subtracting to the water that you're working with now that's kind of creating that? Are you adding different chlorine levels, pH levels? What's the biggest thing you've had to change?
As far as like each beer goes,
Well, I mean, in
we
general,
strip it back. We
Yeah.
pull out as much as we can with that system, and then we rebuild it with different salts: gypsum, calcium chloride, Epsom, baking soda, lactic. Sometimes pickling lime for certain beers.
Oh, all right.
Sometimes citric acid.
Jesus.
Just like
I mean, you just have a chemical compound of just trying to rebalance out the water.
yeah, just a whole bunch of white powder sitting around the brew looking all sketchy.
Yeah, and they're not, they're not doing anything wrong, or
No, I'm not saying they are.
It's not like
It's a
Breaking
lot of-
Bad or anything going on over there. But
Mr. White over here, just
Mr. White.
just making sure the water profiles are looking good. No, but I mean that's a lot. That's before you
Yes,
even
it
get
is.
it into a brewing stage. You have to do a whole level of water profiling to understand what you need to rebalance out to get to the equation that you're looking for.
oh yeah, if they decided to just pull that water out of the ground and go, I'm brewing with it,
People do it.
it would probably we wouldn't be talking to them. Right
No, we
now.
would not. We would not be highlighting Beer Tree Brew right
No,
now.
no.
So you guys obviously have gone through a shit ton of extensive testing and stuff like that. What goes into the overall day to day? You have a new recipe, let's say, Chris, and you're thinking, okay, I need this. Are you looking at the water right away? Are you looking at ingredients in hand, hops? Like, what's the whole process looking like as you go through coming up with a new recipe?
So I guess it would depend on what we're trying to do with it. So if it is like, say it's a new hazy, because I think there's this new style of beer called a hazy IPA. It's like, I think it's up and coming.
It's crazy.
But
No,
like, for
hazy.
that, it's
Nobody
like-
does hazy anything. That's
No,
that means you brewed it wrong.
It'll never catch on, I promise you.
You had no floccliation. It's terrible.
Oh man. Yeah, it caught on all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So-
you got to have it. I mean, there's no way you can't have one in a brewery at this point
Right.
if you want to make any money.
It is. We've had a couple guys on.
No, I agree with you.
kind
But
of refuse.
yes, but are they actually making any money? Are they?
We had somebody on recently.
All right. Listen,
I don't know if they're making money, but
I don't know their business
I
profile.
don't know what they're going with. But
No, who knows? But I mean, you got to have something on tap that's going to spark the interest of the beer nerds in order to generate that chatter, right? That online chatter that we were talking about before, where people are going to be not just reviewing, but in general, kind of talking up the brewery. You have to have something. You guys rotate a shit ton of IPAs in there, in addition to all your classic styles. What is the schedule looking like at this point?
Depends on the week. Sometimes we're running all core beers. Sometimes we're running all new beers. Try not to do that, because it's like the core beers, most of them go in kegs, and then we are stuck with 180 kegs sitting in our cooler. But we're running anywhere between 8 and 10 turns right now. Probably going to build that up a little bit on our 20 barrel system. So
Wow,
we normally just run double
that per
brews
week?
right now.
8-10
Yeah.
turns per week?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So you got eight new variants coming out, 8 new labels coming out every week. Maybe not brand new.
We've got 40. We'll double batch, so we'll do like that'll probably be 5 different SKUs,
Wow.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
6.
Wow.
Yep. So we have a 20 barrel brew house at the factory, and we got 40 barrel fermenters. So we'll double batch into those 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Or 4.
the only way to do it at this
Depending.
point, right? Is just try to get as much as that a liquid into 4-packs and distribution or anything like that can satisfy. You guys go through enough beer at the locations to like satisfy most of your revenue? Like, is most of your revenue generated at these spots, or are they a lot of distribution? Like, what's the kind of percentages or ratio?
Volume wise, I'd say definitely less than 50% is tap rooms. It's what did we do last year? Maybe 30% tap rooms, 70% distro.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wow. And see, that's surprising
Maybe
to
less.
me. That would be surprising to me because you guys have great locations.
Yeah, but I mean,
The volume
You think about in the winter months. Who the fuck's going out?
Me, I'll be up there, and every
'cause
time
you're
I've been,
insane.
yeah, but
And you're getting paid to go up there.
There
That's
are
true.
people that do live upstate.
Well, I'll say
No,
this.
they don't. No, there's nobody up there.
There's nobody up there.
It's a
That's why,
wasteland.
that's why the
Desolate.
Finger Lakes
It's
are
a
so nice,
desolate
'cause there's just
wasteland.
It's like
no
Last
one.
of Us all the time. No, but the thing is that they have beautiful spots. They have every time I've been in there, and we're talking about like 12 o'clock opening. The place has at least 40, 50 people in there sitting down eating on odd days like a Tuesday. And I see pictures online. You guys, your social media is great, by the way. Keeping people in tune with what's going on, as well as showing packed out tap rooms and beer events. You guys had a beer dinner recently. I want to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like you have some really great things going on. It's interesting that only 30% is happening through the tap room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We make a shitload of beer.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. No, I mean, like it's of course,
Yeah,
obviously things are going great, but still,
I would have thought it would have been.
I thought more like 40-60 or maybe even 50-50, but it's one of those things where like it's every time I'm in there, I see lots of people hanging out, eating and drinking. So,
Yeah.
and I've been in, like I said, 12 o'clock on a Tuesday, and there's a lot of people in there.
It's the coffee.
It's the batch coffee.
The batch coffee's doing it to them.
People are coming in for the coffee, staying for the beers and pizzas.
Yeah.
That's right. Get them all up before you bring them down. You got to kind of.
That's
There
it.
you go.
There you go. Stephen opened up basically what All Day Haze, which I'm gonna imagine is going to be the same thing as the hot dogs and hot tubs. What was and just refresh my memory really quick? What was the premier hop in this one?
The Premier, it's probably balanced out between Citra and Strata.
Yeah,
And then it's got Cascade as the kind of like the.
I'm
little bit of a
definitely
backbone.
feeling that sexy hop in there.
Are you guys using any of the the New Zealand like Motueka, anything Galaxy?
Yep. We used to use a ton of Galaxy ever since they had that bad crop year,
Yeah.
or I think it was 2 bad crop years. We've kind of pulled back quite a bit on that, but
Get your hands
we're
on
still
some.
using Nectaron.
Oh, there it is. That's the
Yeah,
one.
you're waiting for. It.
Yeah, that's got my tail wagging. I can't wait for that new crop to get in.
I've had probably 4 different breweries using Nectaron.
Yeah,
And each one has been,
fantastic. Yeah.
I just recently had the other half.
That's a New Zealand hop.
And it's actually a newer. For a while, they all get these special numbers and
Yes, yeah. But it had a number and a letter, an
and
NC47.
and a bunch of people ordered it well in advance. And yeah, it's quite a few breweries have used it. One brewery used it and they didn't use it properly because
not enough of it.
No,
Probably not.
but yeah, I had the other half. I had during the summer. I had 5 Boroughs.
Yeah.
They did their salt pepper ketchup.
Oh, that's such a good beer.
That was what
Shout out to Paul at Five Boroughs.
Yeah, 3.8%, and it was like a small version of Tiny Juicy, but with Nectaron, and yeah, it was so good.
Chris, what kind of do you get any beers dropped off for you up there from down here?
Not too often.
There's an idea. I'm gonna here's the deal, Chris.
Yeah, you got to bring some stuff up.
Yeah,
there.
I'm gonna come up in 2 weeks, right? We got to
Bring up some
two
Noble
weeks from tomorrow.
Savage, some.
No,
Root and
I'm not going to
Branch.
be able to get my hands on Noble. I love Joe, and I love everything that Noble Savage does. I'm not going to get my hands on it. I'm going to bring up some Root and Branch. I'm going to send them.
Sand City.
Yeah. Maybe I have some Trillium sitting around. I'm going to throw you some hazies. I'm going to bring it up to the factory on that Tuesday, and I'm going to say, you leave this in the back for Chris, and I want you to kind of have a little R&D, research and development on some of the hazies that we're doing down here, because you got something very special going on in your lineup here, and I want you to not expand, not in a bad way, but like Just see what we got going on here, and you're going to see.
Well, that's where I'm wondering.
Should I get them other?
Well,
other,
since
you get other half up there.
Since Joe is listening,
Yeah, we get other
the heat miser.
Him
getting his hands on some of these hazies.
Yeah. He's got to get a couple pictures of these. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying right now, you can go against, and this is something I wanted to talk to you about. But I think you could go against other half. I think you can go against Holy Mountain and Monkish and stuff like that.
But you know
Your
what?
beers are right there with everybody else.
But you know what? I don't even use other half as that benchmark anymore.
No, not anymore. It's
more like Fidens and Troon. Definitely Root, because Root is doing a bunch of great stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just like, so, we've had 1, 2, 3, 2 of the beers are the same. But
no, but this doesn't taste the same, by the way. It's not as bright. See, the all day haze isn't as bright as the hot dogs and the hot tubs. It's subtle, but it's nice. There's nothing wrong with it. No,
but I mean, the amount of beers that we have here, and
we're not going to get through all these. I'm going to have to take a lot of pictures, Chris, for the Instagram. It's going to be days and days of pictures.
No, it's just, I just love that you guys
are doing to our podcast.
I just love that you guys are doing so many different styles. And,
There's so much,
and you're doing them well.
Yeah,
that's the key. Some breweries,
thank you,
all they can do is those pastry stouts, and that's all they can do.
Yeah,
they suck.
Who does that?
Bitch ass bitches. And then you have breweries that just do
solid
hazies.
Well, I mean, Fidens is one that you can kind of. We love the Warbler.
The
Warbler one.
Oh my God, yeah.
Some good stuff up in Albany. Chris and the Warbler. You guys share a name. You guys do some great hazy stuff, and these are like the underrated New York breweries that people don't share the information. It's not like the hot name out there. And Beer Tree should be right in contention. Yes. And this is what I wanted to ask you, Chris.
Definitely Mark from Hopscotch. He needs to stop bringing them down.
Oh, fuck yeah. Chris, I have not seen any entries, and maybe you have and maybe you haven't, but into like the New York Brewers Association, we were watching the awards and everything a few weeks ago.
Yeah, from the CBC.
And CBC and throwing stuff out there. Have you guys tried to enter any of these beers into contests and stuff like that?
We've done a few. We did more early on before I think we had things all the way figured out, and it was, I don't know, it was like this isn't that fun. So Juiceland won. I think that
isn't that fun.
I think Juiceland won. I think it was last year. That was at New York State. We've only ever submitted to New York State, the Craft Brewers Conference.
Yep.
We've missed probably more years than we've submitted, but we've never done anything else outside of that.
I would really consider, Chris, submitting some of your stuff, not just for the just for the award or just for the place or whatever, but just to get the name in there, because I think you can put your beer against. I've had a lot of New York State beer, a lot. I think you can put yours up against a lot of the New York State breweries that are out there. I mean, let's talk real facts. Where's equilibrium in a lot of these? They don't submit their shit. Why not?
Some breweries won't.
But why?
Other half won't.
Why?
They don't want to be bothered with it.
Why?
It costs money.
I know it costs
logistics, sending the product.
Okay.
They don't give a shit. You know what? You know what they hear about?
Untapped.
Cash. No.
I know.
Money, man.
They're making
money.
And listen,
that's all they care about.
I'm sure Chris is doing well with what they're doing.
But you have
to get
breweries
the name
like
state,
Grimm, who are getting the money.
They make money,
and they also are winning shit ton of awards.
Right, and isn't that the prestigiousness? I just think
from
what we've tasted from Beer Tree, they would do extremely well.
Some breweries want the prestige and want the accolades and want to tap themselves on the back, saying, "Look, my peers think I'm doing a great job."
Okay,
and there are other breweries that are like, "I don't need anybody to tell me I'm doing a great job.
I see where you're going.
I know I do a great job."
Yeah.
And it's up to the owner, the brewer.
Listen, and CBC isn't like the biggst award ever. I'm just saying in general, their beers compete with anything. I mean,
it's not like winning a World Beer Cup or GABF.
No, but
I don't know who's done that.
Who done that?
I don't know.
That costs money. That
Maybe
costs
me.
time. That costs
Maybe I did.
travel.
Maybe I did.
Maybe
yeah.
you did.
I like to, you know what? Every so often I like
I'm
to
just saying.
tap myself on the
Think
back.
about the beers you brewed and think about these beers. They're right there.
Oh my God, these great beers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're right there.
Now here's a for instance, if my buddy Whiskey Paul's listening,
Whiskey Paul.
he says it's so funny. He goes, man, every time I hear you guys do one of these shows,
Yeah.
these beers sound so wonderful, and I can't get my hands on them.
I know.
He's like,
That's because we seek out the uniqueness.
and the key is we don't rate beers.
No.
We don't. We refuse to do any rating, but we'll
We'll give our opinions.
give our opinions.
If you hear us say nothing, then...
and I told him that.
Yeah, if you hear us say
I
nothing,
told him-
then we know, like...
I know I won't say it on this show, but there are certain things I will say when somebody's beer is not good, and I'm trying to pick something good to say about it.
So you have great can art.
Oh, wow. Wow, your head retention's awesome.
But when we're
Don't, Chris,
speaking,
that's not you, brother.
Yeah,
So far,
no, you have good head retention too.
And you do have a good head retention.
But that's not what we're talking about.
no, man. So far, I mean,
beer after beer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like Pilsner to the IPA to the Schwartz beer to the food to the lager.
I do
he
have to
could
say
enter
you are correct on that Schwarzbier. That
fantastic.
was really good.
Dude, I'm just
was
saying.
really good.
I'm just saying.
And we try to find those out too. We try to find people that make them.
Oh yeah,
And
because they're not
that was a good one.
as easy to find. Chris, you have like a shit ton of experience, obviously. Excuse me, and what you've got.
Whoa,
I know.
look at
Well,
it.
it's been fucking 5 beers here. What has been the biggest standout in your evolution of the brewery at this point? Like, what's the one thing you can pin this on? That would give people like, that's the one thing you should probably be focusing on as I'm starting a brewery or starting some labels or starting, information or
Don't do it.
Yeah. Be ready to just give your life away.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's a hard question because it's
Yeah.
like you can't. I'd say make sure you're passionate about what you're brewing, but at the same time, it's like if people don't like what you like, you gotta make a product that appeals to the masses if you want to have a successful business or if you want to try to grow. Like you can't make a product that's like fitting in this niche. Like, oh, I built my business around brown ales. It's like, well, I'm probably not gonna go as far as if it's like there's a brown ale, but like I know most people like to drink, like right now, it's like we're pumping out a whole bunch of fruited stuff. It's like, do we love brewing the fruited stuff? It's fun. It's like you get to be so creative with like the combination of fruits. It's like making your daily smoothies, but it's
Yeah,
like
but that guy doing the brown ale, he's like, yeah, well, I came out with a hazy brown.
It's a thick brown chocolate.
Thick hazy brown.
yeah. So I guess from a business standpoint, like you gotta make beers that people like.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of set your
Gotta know your audience.
whatever it would be. Yeah, know your audience.
Like we don't. We have no
Be
clue.
nice, be receptive to feedback, even though people on Untapped are idiots.
Just not on Untapped.
Hey, thanks for that fucking quarter cap. I really appreciate your honesty, and I'm gonna come to your house and kill you.
Reply, downward thumb.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, it's like just standing at the bar waiting for reviews of something. You see a bad one, you point out the guy. Hey, you motherfucker!
I see you over there.
I see you over
Don't
there,
you dare.
fuckface. You got your picture on your goddamn
Don't think I don't see your avatar.
your
Dick.
avatar.
Chris, I want to ask you a little bit about the future of Beer Tree. Give us what is in the works. What's the plans?
Works?
The works?
The works?
I didn't say the works.
You said works.
Is the Wort with Mike, Pete, and
Works?
Steve?
It's the works.
No, it's the works.
Oh.
What's going on? What's in the back room right now that's being thrown around as big ideas of what we're going to do next?
Midgets.
No,
Oh.
it can't be those.
Oh.
So, I mean, there's the product side of things, just trying to continuously innovate using the different technologies that are coming out.
Are you going to do like a cool ship?
Oh, so we were thinking this is kind
There
of
we go.
more from the coffee side.
Okay.
But using like a cool ship so you can inoculate. There's a certain bean. It's the whoosh whoosh. It's a Ethiopian bean. It tastes like Fruit Loops. and they inoculate it with a bacteria. So what I was thinking is we set up a cool ship locally and we get bacteria and we inoculate this coffee bean with our upstate New York bacteria. And then it makes whatever, it wouldn't be whoosh whoosh, it would be whatever the heck comes from it. But I think that'd be really cool.
It'd be Binghamton college student urine. Krusty B.O. pissing in it. No, I'm only kidding.
No, post frat party.
That's a fucking,
goodness.
that's an awesome idea. Because many breweries do it. You know, they have cool ships. And they, when I was at Lost Abbey and when I was in San Francisco, you know, you see the open windows but to do it with coffee, that's interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I would want to see how that comes out.
Yeah. Fruit Loops and then just like tone it down with the bacteria.
Well, who knows what it would be from upstate? What it would impart.
Huh.
Yeah.
And I say upstate, but
tomato soup.
Tomato soup and vomit. There you go, bro.
Well, let's hope not. You guys obviously, have expanded over the last few years between the factory, the farm to start, the factory,
the farm, and
downtown, the farm and the farm.
Yep.
Do you have another location thinking forward here of what you might want to do, what you could do? Where would you expand to if you had the opportunity?
Yeah, we've looked at a couple spots. There's nothing like that's like 100%. It's kind of just like as opportunities arise, it's like we're not batting them down right away. It's like everything deserves a glance, and if it makes sense, then we'll take the next step. If it doesn't make sense, then we'll just kind of keep our eyes open, keep our ears open, and keep kind of just seeing what's out there. I don't think our growth. I don't know. We're not just gonna say, we're done. You know,
they're coming up with ramen and dumplings next.
Yeah,
I know they are.
It sounds delicious.
It's gonna be right next to the coffee place.
Shit,
and
now I want ramen and dumplings.
And you're gonna be able to get
pretty darn good.
Bro. You could work out. You could go to the doctor and get like a B12 shot to keep you going.
Yep.
Then come get some beer, chicken sandwich.
Yep.
And some ramen and dumplings to go home. I'm telling you,
that all sounds delicious.
It's all there. You don't even have to leave. And they're gonna do like those little pods, like in Japan, where you go to sleep, you just take the nap for a little bit, and then you come back out. And
again, all sounds delicious.
This is me rambling from way too many of these delicious beers.
Yeah. So let's give you an opportunity here to share some of the information with our audience. Where can people find you? Let's give the locations. Let's give some operating hours. Some websites and contacts and social media and stuff like that.
All right. So you can find us on Instagram at Beer Tree Brew. And then we've got, I don't know the handles to these, at Beer Tree Brew, or no, is it Factory Beer Tree?
It's a lot of things.
It's
you have so many things.
If you go to at Beer Tree Brew, we've got it in our bio, the other or well, I guess the 3 locations, because Beer Tree Brew is just kind of like our generic on Instagram account. On
your website, any option there for people where they can find your beer? Oh, I got you.
That's something
I got you, Chris.
In Binghamton.
I would love to build it out. So I guess the way that I look at it is if anyone is looking for our beer, this is such a pain in the ass way to do it. But you can just send us an email. I'll get all the emails, and I can look at the database from our distributors, and I can just pinpoint
there you go.
It's in this city, it's in this county, by zip code, whatever, and dish it out that way.
That's cool, man.
I like sending our distributor, the sales team, different leads. So if your local bottle shop doesn't have something that you want, then we can kind of arrange for that we can work from the location back through the distributor, and then have them kind of go and tackle that.
We'll talk to our buddy Mark over at Hopscotch, a local
bottle shop,
obviously a beer distributor, but also
who actually he carries like Fidens and all sorts of stuff.
I think he's picked this up before. I think
he might have.
Binghamton University.
Yeah,
he's driving up.
He actually
District 96.
Yeah, he does all the upstate stuff. So he actually does the traveling himself. He'll go for like a weekend. He'll be like, all right, I'm going to go up and hit like 3 or 4 breweries, grab some stuff, bring it back.
Yeah, he's had Myers Creek.
My God.
He's had so many upstate breweries.
Mark's a great guy, and he'll...
Great place.
We'll recommend it, of course, and then we'll post on our Instagram when he reposts it on his Hopscotch bottle shop. And by the way, that Hopscotch bottle shop brewery bracketology did very well this year.
And they won best grilled cheese.
Of course they did.
Because
it's
how
deliciousness.
can they not? Because that's what they do.
So go ahead and go to Beer Tree Brew, or just type into Instagram or even in a Google search, and you'll find all the social media contacts that you would need. Chris, really appreciate you being on the show tonight, man. Thanks a lot for taking the time for us, and thanks for sharing all these fantastic beers. I wish we could get through more of them. I would love to pack out this studio.
Let me tell you, if we did get through them, we're not going home tonight.
We'd be sleeping here on the floor. I'd be sleeping right. But I am going to post a bunch of these up on our Instagram over the next few days with links to the podcast itself, and that way people can hear the story and hear everything that's going on. Thanks very much. Any last words, Chris, from you? Anything else you need to tell us? Any big events coming up?
Thank you both for having me. Really appreciate it. Big events. Oh my gosh. I can't think about. Oh, you want to find the events? Go to our Instagram.
There you go. Good
or
man.
Facebook. Yeah, it's everything that we do is listed out on there. We got stuff going on every week. Different locations doing different specials.
Oh, really quick! You had the beer dinner. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, beer dinner. Oh, it was fantastic. So we chose 4 different beers to pair with 4 different dishes. The first beer was that 12-month food rage lager. That was paired with it was actually sushi.
See,
it was so darn good. And then the second beer was Trippy Tree. It was one of our fruited sours. It was the pineapple orange mango, I think.
Yes, we have that here. Yep. What was it, Steve? Is it? He's got his glasses on.
I got to put glasses on because I am old man.
Old man.
Raspberry fruited sour with mango. Dragon fruit, mango, and raspberry.
I think so it wasn't that variant. It was the one that's got it was we do a bunch of those.
Yeah.
And then we did Juice Land. That was version 2, which is Citra Ricao, and I think that does have Galaxy in it. And then the last one was a bourbon barrel aged Neapolitan shake stout that we did. It's kind of the series we've done with Mortalis for the last 4 years or so.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's like you take a Neapolitan shake ice cream tub, you let it all melt together, you go and store it in a bourbon barrel for 12 months, 13, 14 months, and you pull it out and you just dump it all over you, and it's absolutely delicious.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That sounded like a lot that I would want.
Yeah, all of the things that are deliciousness.
Yes.
Chris, if anything comes up between now and April 25th, which I will be up there, let me know. I'm gonna bring you some beers up. I promise. As well as we got some T-shirts and stuff for you, and some stuff for the crew up at the Beer Tree Factory. So let them know I'll be heading up there on April 25th. I think it's a Tuesday of that week, and I'll be enjoying my chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich.
Again, thanks very much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
This is the Wort, Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. Chris from Beer Tree Brew Co. I really appreciate everything. Dude, I'm telling you, the lineup is ridiculous. We can keep going through that whole thing of beers, and we'll be instantly impressed.
I should have taken off.
Should take over tomorrow.
This beer tastes like I'm not going to work tomorrow.
That's a good meme.
Yes.
That's a delicious. This is the Wort, Mike, PC, GovsRadio.com. Thanks a lot for everyone for joining in, and everyone on Instagram for checking in and saying hello. We'll have our podcast up on our normal platforms, from iHeart to iTunes to Spotify to the Hopped Up Network and the Amazon Music podcast station. And Steve, something before we get on out of here.
Yeah. Drink New York State beer because it is the best.
Dude, there's some things that people just don't know about New York State beer.
And they're going to learn.
This is the Wort, Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. We out.
Well, that's 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back.
Are you kidding me? Please hang up and try again.
This has been The Wort on Govs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.